I recently decided to shell out a little bit of cash for the Sony WH-1000XM3 Bluetooth headphones. They're pretty great and came highly recommended on the forums that I read while researching for a pair of gym headphones to buy. The price tag for them brand new can be pretty hefty, so in this video let's see if they're worth it. And at the end I'll tell you the best way to find a bargain on them. The build quality of the XM3s is pretty good, although not what I would describe as outstanding. Nearly everything is plastic except for a metal band along the ear cup extension mechanism. I'm not really sure what that's called, but the plastic quality is okay, it's fine. It's not creaky, it feels like a good thickness, good density. So the plastic also has a matte finish that I think looks pretty cool and would keep it from showing fingerprints and stuff pretty easily. I got the black model, which has bronze accents on the logo and this vent, which I think monitors the incoming sound to generate noise canceling. The ear cups are fairly standard. They're a very soft, fake leather filled with regular foam, not memory foam, if that makes a difference to you. There's a thin fabric covering the speakers inside the ear cup, which always kind of weirds me out on headphones. It just feels like there should be more separating the speakers from the rest of the world, but I guess the sound has to get out somehow. So the ear cups rotate almost a full 180 degrees, but they do stop just short of that. They can rest flat on your shoulders if you wear them around your neck with the ear cups sitting on your shoulders, kind of like a neck, one of those neck pillows. You can travel with them that way if you don't want to walk around with them on your head. The only actual buttons on the whole headphones are a power button and a toggle for turning ambient mode on and off. We'll discuss ambient mode more later. However, there is a touch panel on the side of the headphones with gestures that provide more functionality. You can swipe towards your face to move to the next track. In the opposite direction to move to the previous track. You can swipe up to bring the volume up, and you can swipe down to reduce volume. You can also tap the panel to pick up an incoming phone call or pause and then play the current track. This touchpad function can be a bit inconsistent. Sometimes the swipe gestures will get misinterpreted and maybe the volume will go up when I meant to skip a song when I was swiping perpendicular to that. It would also take some time for me to get used to the touchpad and use it intuitively. From a practical perspective, I usually end up making the changes on my phone anyways, since I'm used to that with my AirPods. Even with the built-in features on the AirPods, I always use my phone to make the changes anyway. I think you can configure like tapping the AirPods to skip songs and stuff like that. It's just has never really been intuitive for me, so I use my phone. One nice hardware-related bonus is the carry case, which fits the headphones when fully retracted and an ear cup rotated. I really enjoy the case being thrown in as an extra kind of accessory because these headphones are great for travel. The noise canceling especially makes them great for travel, and I would be nervous to just throw them in a bag without any extra support. And it's nice to not have to wear them on your neck all the time. That can get a little fatiguing, so it's cool to have a case. The case is pretty rigid and it has some inserts to keep the ear cups from crushing each other. It kind of secures them in place. Now onto the sound quality. For the most part, I think these sound really good. They are pretty bass heavy, which makes them good for bass heavy genres, especially for listening at the gym. I think they shine most in the rap, heavy metal, and electronic genres. As I kind of skim through my playlist and listen to different genres, I think that's where they sound the best. In some genres, the mids and highs of the mix get a little lost. It does depend pretty heavily on the mix. I'll say I was skimming my playlist and I tried some songs that were like hip hop. I think the latest Drake album I was just scrolling through. And I felt like I was missing some of the detail in the vocals, some of the synths and like drums were missing detail in the higher range. But when I switched to a more vocal-centric mix for bands like Fleetwood Mac, kind of the classic rock or country or even indie genres, it sounded a lot more even and balanced. So I think you will end up noticing a difference in the mixes. I think these headphones shine in loud, booming genres like hip-hop, electronic, the ones I described. I think they're great headphones for that. I think they're also probably marketed towards people who are listening to that kind of music, especially in the gym, maybe on the plane. I mean, people on a plane listen to all kinds of music, but I think it's marketed to be more of like a consumer level headphone rather than maybe necessarily an audiophile headphone. They sound really good, but it's not something that if you're really wanting to hear every every aspect of the mix, you're probably gonna want something that's more oriented towards the studio. In terms of fit and feel, these do feel a little bit tight on my head, especially after wearing them for a while. The total weight of the headset is about 250 grams or about 9 ounces, which I think feels on the heavier side, but it's not terrible. I've worn them for a few hours at a time while traveling, and I haven't had an issue where I was like, I really have to take these off now. With that said, there's not a ton of cushion on the top of the headband, which could be a cause for concern, especially if like you don't have hair on the top of your head. I would imagine that that would get kind of uncomfortable. The only other issue I have with the fit and feel is that when wearing them, especially at the gym, is if you need to lie down or bend over to do an exercise, they might encumber you or even fall off. I mean, encumber you meaning they might get in the way of your exercise, especially if you're doing something over your head, like the cups will probably interfere with that. I like to wear them during cardio when I know I'm going to be upright the whole time. But I do tend to switch back to my AirPods if I know I'll be lifting, or I just won't even bring these to the gym. So maybe plan that into your workouts if you know you're going to be maybe doing a lot of bench or a lot of rowing or anything like that. Try to bring your AirPods because these will probably fall off. The premier kind of feature on the XM3s is their noise canceling ability. As I wrote the script for this review, I was sitting on the couch with the TV at a normal volume, and I couldn't hear anything from the TV, like absolutely nothing. Granted, there was no other noise in the house, so you know, that was just one audio source, but it canceled it really well. You can also adjust the level of noise canceling to focus on voices or to allow some general level of noise through. This is a good and safe feature for living in the city, where you might need some level of noise around you, some level of awareness to make sure you won't get like hit by a bus or anything. And that feature works pretty well. It's definitely possible to make out if people are talking. So if that's all the information you need, then that's great, and it's a good feature for you. It's not always super good at making out complete words, but I think that's fine. If odds are, if you need to listen to someone, you're going to take the headphones off. But it's not always good about making out the whole word. It might cut it off in the middle. The XM3s do a great job with canceling a moderate level of noise, but when you're somewhere very noisy, like maybe Planet Fitness or a busy gym, or on a plane, you'll hear a kind of low hum noise that the headphones can't cancel out. I don't have a ton of experience with noise canceling headphones, but these are pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned. I think it does a great job of isolating what you're listening to and really letting you focus on your music rather than the noise around you. For instance, I recently took these on a short flight, about 3 hours long, and I wanted to test out the noise canceling capabilities in a fairly taxing, fairly loud environment. I also wanted to see how long I could comfortably wear them for too long without getting fatigued, and I was pretty impressed with the noise canceling performance. If I'm wearing AirPods like I was previously on a flight, I would normally have to max out the volume. I have a limiter set so I don't hurt my ears, but I would have to max out my volume so that I could even hear the music at all, which means that I'm usually just getting a headache since I'm competing with the noise of the engine, not isolating myself from it. The XM3s do a good job of eliminating that noise, although I did experience some discomfort due to the difference in atmospheric pressure. So kind of a weird thing about these headphones is that they can adjust atmospheric pressure and try to keep it at 1 atmosphere pressure, which is just the normal amount of pressure people are used to. I'm not sure by what mechanism it does this, but you do kind of feel a sense of pressure in your ears the whole time. I did anyways, the whole time I was on my flight. There was a sense of relief when I took them off, so I have to imagine it has something to do with that function, that pressure changing technology. It wasn't unbearable, it's just something to keep in mind. Like if you're going to be on flights for 4, 6, 8 hours, you'll probably want to look into something that's a little bit more purpose-built for noise canceling, I would say. Another area of comfort where I think the XM3s are lacking is the weight and clamping pressure. I'm pretty sensitive to this by now since for the past 6 months or so, I've been wearing headphones all day for my remote job. But I do feel like these headphones have a good bit of weight to them. I've tried playing with the headband length to reduce and increase the amount that the headphones are sitting on the top of my head. And I haven't really been able to find anything that provides me much relief or much change. They do get fatiguing after a while, and like I said, I would often feel relief after taking them off after the flight. Maybe it's just my ears are used to AirPods or what, but just something to take in note. I can't really fault Sony though, because a reduction in weight would most likely come from a smaller battery, which I would not appreciate. I haven't really tested the precise battery life length, but it has plenty to get me through a day of travel and even more. So now let's talk about price. These retail for $350, which is really pricey in my opinion, for a set of headphones that released in 2018 and has since been discontinued. I think you can still buy them new thanks to third parties lingering stock, maybe like Best Buy or some online stores, but I don't think this is the best value for your money. The $350 price tag is $20 more than a brand new pair of Bose Quiet Comfort 35s. If you're a fan of Beats by Dre, the Beats Studio 3 wireless are right at that $350 price tag as well. Sennheiser Momentum 4 wirelesses are also $350. Again, these comp models are all brand new, non-discontinued, and probably include some kind of warranty, so I think your money is probably better spent on other models at this price range. However, I didn't write this script and make this video just to tell you to get a different pair of headphones. The real value is found in the used models. On eBay, you can find the XM3s for as low as $70, but the average price is probably more in the $120 to $170 range. I think that this is a much more reasonable price and is actually really competitive at that point and is about what I paid for mine. I paid $110, so snuck in there a little bit under, but take a look, you can find some deals. I could not find a pair of Bose noise canceling headphones for that price, and the only thing you can get from Beats for that price or less is a pair of sports earbuds. And we're talking brand new here, so you know, eBay is kind of a bit of a treasure trove, so you can try and dig around and find what you can, but good luck. If you're quick, you can find some bargains on eBay, especially if they're being sold by a third party, an individual, not a reseller or a refurbisher. Those tend to be a little bit more expensive, probably closer to $200. If you'd like to check out some used models that you can purchase, I've left links in the description to help you find them on eBay. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. I hope you found the content useful. If you'd like to learn more about the XM3s, I've left some links in the description for you to check out and learn more. Additionally, you can check out my website if you'd like to read more of what I've written or read more details on previous technology that I've written about in the past. Check out my website if you'd like to learn more. Subscribe if you're new and you'd like to see more content like this. You can comment to let me know what you thought of the video, or if you have any questions. I try to respond to all of them as quickly as I can. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.